Hello, my favorite YouTube people. It is VSG Smile. I am almost 5 weeks post-op the VSG sleeve surgery. I'm down in total 38 pounds since I started the journey and down 20 pounds since I've had surgery. So everything is progressing well and as normal. I just want to talk a bit about some of the challenges and I guess unexpected things that have came up after surgery that I've really had to ponder on and work my way through. One of the things that I have found challenging is adjusting to the emotional aspect of it. I did see a counselor during my pre-op stage, and she identified that she didn't think I was an emotional eater. It seemed like I did have my eating under control. I was able to cut out a lot of the bread, a lot of the bad carbs, focusing on vegetables and my protein. I was also focusing and getting a lot of water in. But what happened after surgery is the portion control issue came up to where a lot of times, not a lot, but I say often, I found that I do go to food for comfort and my sleeve has put me in my place. I'm not able to go to food and take in a lot of food, and definitely from an emotional and mental standpoint, it's an adjustment. Another thing that I have had to cope with is the emotional aspect of having to discuss the surgery, or not having to, but being questioned by people about why did you have the surgery? Why did you have a part of your stomach removed? Are you going to get real skinny now? Are you trying to model now? And I'm nowhere close to the model profession at all. So I don't know where that comment came from. But just people's responses are really odd, and sometimes you rather not get into the medical aspect of, oh, I have high blood pressure, hypertension, my knees hurt, and you don't want to get into all that. They just look at you like, why don't you just exercise or eat different? Why do you have to go to this extreme? And I would never do that. People say things like that. But you have to kind of just have that, I guess, courage and confidence and self awareness to know what's best for you and not to let other people's opinions and comments affect you. And that's something that I'm working on. I definitely notice about myself that I can hear a comment that someone makes and I will dwell on it and think about it, and it will bother me. And I would even talk to my mom about it. I'm like, why did that person say that? But it could be something that they just flew off the handle and said without even really thinking and put much thought into. Another challenge for me, it may not apply to everybody, even though we all have, our own personal stressors. But I have kids, and two of them are really small. They're 2 and 4, and I have a teenager. And through this journey, I've had to really just come to terms with the fact that I do not put myself first, and I typically, as a parent, have not put myself first, and that's how I got into this health crisis. And in order to get out completely, even though I've lost weight with the sleeve, I still have to put myself first and make some healthy, wiser decisions if I'm going to get the rest of this excess weight off. And that's a challenge. I mean, at night, when I want to go to sleep early at 8 o'clock at night and recuperate after a long day, I can't. I mean, I could, but just with my nature, I can't. I have to make sure my family's taken care of. All the kids are, ready for bed. Their bellies are full. They've washed up. Everyone's good. And so, even right now, if I did not have kids, I probably would have went to bed like 2 hours ago. And so that sacrifice of sleep and not having that energy to get up in the morning and walk, because in an ideal situation, I would have been asleep for a couple hours. I would have been able to wake up early tomorrow morning, and go walking outside. I have this parallel running in my mind of what is versus what could have been. And so I know there's people with kids. I know there's people that have my kind of anxieties and worries and that sort of thing, and they were able to push through and make it happen. So I'm really trying to come to terms with, no excuses, No BS. You have to take in charge of your own destiny and do what you have to do if you want to see a change happen. And I'm really coming to grips with that. I was really hoping that I could have this surgery, to be honest with you, and the weight just fall off. Not completely, but I thought at least the first 50 pounds might fall off. But I found for myself the 20 pounds in 1 month, that's typical for me no matter what diet I'm doing. And so that kind of surprised me as far as me expecting more weight to come off quicker with the sleep, but it's the same thing. I'm not getting enough sleep. Um, I'm working on my eating. I eat well. I do tend to have more lean meats, fish, vegetables, yogurt, sugar free popsicles, and jello and pudding, all that stuff. The Powerade Zero, Isopure drinks, water, a lot of good stuff. Every now and then I might have, some candy. Not a whole lot, not enough that it would ruin the whole diet, but enough to where if I also incorporated exercise, I would still be able to lose more and meet my goals. So that's a challenge. Coming to terms with eating a lot slower for comfort for my sleep, that has been a challenge at some points. For some reason, my sleep will let me eat certain things that are not good. Like, for instance, I had a slice of pizza and I was able to eat the whole pizza slice and feel like fine, like normal. And I'm like, that's weird. And sure enough, it hit me, and my whole sleeve seemed to fill up with the bread of the piece. I guess it swells up inside of you, and I had to bring it back up. And that's something that I'm just kind of having to cope with. That's on my list now. No more pizza, no more bread, nothing like that, because obviously it's just too much for my stomach to handle. And it's good for me not to take those things in, but just trying to balance out eating like a normal person with the reality of what I'm capable and should be eating with my sleep. That's a challenge. I was bringing my lunch. Well, initially I was out of work for the first week after surgery, worked from home the next week, and then by the third week I was in the office. And I find myself going out for lunch just like I used to do before the surgery. The difference is choosing what I can eat, and now I'm finding instead of getting like grilled chicken because chicken is too tough, I have to get like tuna, which is fine. I just have to work around the whole no bread thing. And that's definitely more of a challenge than I thought it would be. I did come to a point, probably 2.5 weeks after surgery, when I was like, okay, done with this diet, time to end this diet and move on to the next um, great thing, just like any other diet that I've been on. And then I realized, oh my goodness, this is serious. This is permanent. This is not something I can say, okay, never mind. This is too hard. I don't want to do this. So the surgery and the sleeve is pushing me to do what I need to do. There is no going back, so to speak. So I'm learning what I can eat, and I'm thankful for the surgery and for my surgeon that I did have the surgery, and to God that I got through it so that I can have that tool to utilize. And I do feel confident as the years go on. I feel confident that I will bring my weight down to a much healthier weight. It's just hard right now with small kids, to be honest with you. I mean, I definitely, my heart goes out to anyone who has any kind of medical issue that you're going through. But in particular, when you have kids and you have to be there for them and put their needs and their desires, their, wants and everything ahead of you, it's a lot. It takes such a toll out of you. And something that I'm really, really trying to balance out. And it's hard. It really is hard for me. So, in the meantime, I guess I'll slowly but surely bring my weight down. But as my little ones get bigger and more independent, I can definitely push towards bringing it down even further. But I'm happy for the weight that I've lost so far. I'm happy for this journey. I'm happy that I'm learning how to eat better. In addition to the sleeve, I also have to eat to bring my A1C or maintain my A1C at a normal level. I was diagnosed with prediabetes last year, and this year, before I had the surgery, I was actually cleared out of the prediabetes status, and I'm in a normal status, so I want to keep it there. Another issue is my high blood pressure, and I'm not cleared from that. I'm actually supposed to be back on my blood pressure medicine, but I'm a little hard headed. I was really hoping that after surgery I would not have to take my blood pressure medicine, but my blood pressure was high when I had my 2 week follow up with the physician, and now at 5 weeks I had a weigh in at my job, and they did my blood pressure as well, as far as the lab work and finding out where I stand as far as all my blood work. And I haven't got that back yet, but I did do the blood draw today, and I found out that my blood pressure is still high. So I'm going to have to get back on my blood pressure medicine. And again, I think it's definitely due to lifestyle, being a busy mom. I'm a supervisor at my job as well, and I think all of that contributes to my overall stress and well being. Even though I love my life, I would not trade it for anything. I love my job, love my kids. I love that busyness and problem solving and critical thinking and the challenges. I love it all. But definitely, I realize that I'm only one person, and sometimes everything I take on could be a bit much for my heart, for my whole body, my whole system as a whole. So I definitely have to find that balance so I can definitely make my health a priority. I'm proud of what I've done so far, but I definitely need to step it up and take it a further level. Um, that's it so far that I can recall as far as the challenges that I'm dealing with personally after surgery. And I just want to wish everyone well on their journeys, and thank you for listening to what I had to say. And God bless you all. Bye.